Well, hey, hello, hi everybody. Secondhand Dan coming to you from the Penny Pincher workshop land. I appreciate got a couple new subscribers. Thanks for that. I thought I'd give you a rundown on some of the stuff I've been tinkering with. I've got a mess here and there, so let's clean up some of this mess at the same time show you what I've been tinkering with. This first thing here, laying out here on this sheet, is a fluorescent desk lamp, or some people like to call it a drafting lamp. You got two fluorescent bulbs in it. Now they're both in there. One's burned out, but when I move one to the other side and vice versa, it works. So I know the one bulb is bad. But I went ahead and put this on eBay. So I hope I get some takers. It's designed to either clamp on, clamp off, with these two wing nuts and these two clips there. And if you don't want to do it that way, you can unthread this dowel rod that holds these wing nuts and clamps. Take them both off, and you could go with the holes inside there. There's 3 holes, so you could directly screw it down to your desk surface. This is probably from the late 60s, early 70s. This is known as a Dazor. That's the brand name. D-A-Z-O-R. Model P2124. There are a number of them out there. They come in like the chocolate brown color. Some of them you can get with a magnifying glass on. I actually have one mounted to my desk with the screws, and it has the magnifying on it with a round fluorescent tube on it. And what I did was I went ahead and bought an LED to replace the fluorescent, saying that it wasn't working in that mode anyway. Plus, when they do work, the fluorescents take more wattage, they generate more heat, they're slow to come on. So I converted one on my desk to an LED, and it's got the magnifying glass on it. So when I'm working with smalls like jewelry or little toys, I'm trying to see who the manufacturer is. But I put this on eBay, so I needed to get the heck off the workbench here. And I've got an entire shelf, I'll show you, an entire shelf of eBay items. And it's actually spilling over. The thing about this secondhand business, it's always easier to find it and buy it than it is to sell it. Just on the other side of that blue wall is the eBay shelf. See, please do not touch items on blue shelves. Ask for help, because I get people wandering around. I don't mind them wandering around so much. It's just this stuff, sometimes people will pick something up and carry it and set it somewhere else down in your store, and it could get lost. And if it's on eBay and it gets sold, I don't want to have to tear the whole building apart to find it. But you can see I've got train sets, 2 Lionel train sets, a holiday Christmas horse carousels. I've got a ukulele. I think it's called a soprano ukulele, or no, bass ukulele, something like that. I got this book from like 1960. It has some cool transparencies in it of, this is all about the ear. So there's a couple overlay transparencies. That actually came from the house of a doctor that passed away. I've got a round suitcase. So sometimes people call those a train case. 90% of the stuff is either on eBay or has been on eBay. So what I need to do is maybe pull it all off and start all over and put all the stuff that currently is on eBay, maybe down this side, put the stuff that was on eBay and I want to run up again on this side. But inside here, it's upside down. Does this help? Die-cast metal milk truck. I've got 2 of them. Where's the second one? It's here somewhere. But those are on eBay right now. I've got some Lionel accessories. They're on eBay right now. I don't know why I have this Splash and Fun. Let's get this off. That doesn't... I don't think I ever put that on eBay or really intended to. That's something my grandson might like to play with. He'll be here tomorrow. Right now it's like 80 degrees. So we'll see if it's toasty enough for him to play in the water fountain. There's a Milwaukee right angle drill. That thing's probably 30 years old or more, and it's in mint condition because I don't think it's ever been used. Now when I got it, it was missing the cord. And I think it was only just like a month ago I finally got the cord for it off of eBay. But you can see there's no dirt or sawdust in this. There's no scratches on the drill. That's great for drilling between rafters if you're running wiring or maybe even some plumbing. So that's on eBay. I have here a engine block from like a 6.5 horsepower motor. One of my videos, if you want to watch a previous one, only like 2 videos ago, is me tearing down this engine. It looked like a perfectly fine engine. I found it in somebody's trash, but I did a video of doing a teardown on it, and I've actually sold the cover with the, have the old pull starter in it. So the cover's sold. So it was profitable to pick it out of somebody's trash, take it apart, made an interesting video, and I'm 1 part sold. So I'm hoping somebody will buy some of the other parts soon. Now you can see there's a light bulb in here. This is a beer stein. Hold on, it's hung up. Okay, it's a German beer stein design. That would be a lidded beer stein, so oversized beer stein. It's a swag lamp. See the chain with the cover to mount it to a box on the ceiling. You could skip the box and just get some more chain, or just wire the cord on and go with just enough chain, put a hook in the ceiling and run it down to an outlet. That's on eBay. My arm's getting tired of holding that. Let's set it down in here. Oh, this cart here is on eBay. This cart is probably from the mid-60s. And on a scale 1 to 10 as far as condition, I would say it's probably a 9. 9 or 9er. It is a garden cart. It was made by a company called Cardinal. So it's on eBay. It would make a great coffee table, or you can almost imagine a Cracker Barrel, maybe full of lollipops or something like that. Now, this lamp, I've had it, well, it still is, but it was on eBay. It got a lot of watchers, a lot of looks, but nobody followed through and pulled the trigger. So I had it initially listed for $75. So I've relisted it since the auction did it 7 days and nobody went for it. So, but it's a brass. I mean, there might be some iron up underneath for a counterbalance, but it's an oldie. It's probably got to be 100 years old. I actually had to work on the one socket. The one chain was just not clicking. You could pull it down and the light bulb would come on, but as soon as you let go, the light bulb would go off. So I had to service that. It's a brassy lamp, so somebody should be pulling the trigger on this soon. Like I said, I've lowered it from $75 when I reposted it on eBay for $65. Now, trains have always been a seller for me on eBay. They come in many form and fashion. They're like, this is a big plastic body. It's a coach. And is this a, oh yeah, there goes a cover off the back end. I'll pick that up. But I had a, what was it? A busted tender car. You know, the car that's supposed to hold the coal behind the engine. And I actually took they call them trucks, the wheel sections. I took both those wheel sections off of that tender, and I sold those on eBay by themselves, I think, for like $30 for the pair. So if you can't get money for the whole, a lot of times you get money for the parts. Here's a Bachmann big hauler. Now it's been up and running and nobody went for it, but I let it rest. Wait till we get a little bit closer to the Christmas, when the weather starts cooling down. I'll repost it when people start thinking about operating, rebuilding their train sets, well, because they'll have to be indoors. As you can see, I just had to lean this fluorescent lamp here in the corner. Just get it off the workbench. There's a little sleigh that's been up and nobody bought it, but most people aren't thinking Christmassy items just yet, so it'll go back up maybe in another week or two. It is late in July, so I should probably wait till the beginning of September to repost some of the Christmas items. Some, even though I did all the work, taking all the pictures and writing the description, and I would put the auction scheduled. I would schedule it ahead so I could just go and let it start. But what eBay only lets me go, I think, is about 20 days ahead. So ideally, something like this holiday Christmas carousel, I would have programmed to maybe start September 15th. But they won't let you do that. So, but when it gets closer to the date that it's actually supposed to start, you can revise the scheduled listing and add more time to it into the future. So I've done that a couple of times with some of the Christmas items. Some managed to go ahead and start, even though I had posted them the 20-some days in the future. Snuck up on me and they started anyway, but that's not a problem. I'll let them run and they'll stop again if they don't sell, and I'll just wait another 2 weeks and run them again. Now the tables have turned, or should I say the turntables are getting their turn. Some people call these record players, but they are turntables. This one actually has a bid on it right now. It's on eBay, $99. Somebody went ahead and started the bidding. Now somebody asked some questions about this. I know it's probably a little hard to see in this light, but you can see the cover right there. See that fogginess? They asked, have you tried to clean it off? Is that permanent? All right, yeah, okay, I got to be patient, because why the heck wouldn't I clean something off if it's going to increase the interest in the item? You know, if I just have to spray it and wipe it. No, it's permanent. The damage there is permanent. It's a permanent fogging on there. Oh, can you feel it with your fingernail? Is it in the inside or the outside? I just said, there's some permanent damage there. So please don't bid on it if you think you're going to get it cleaned off after you buy it. The same dealio with this one. There's a lot of watchers on it. This is a serious, I'm asking like $250. If you want to check me out on eBay, it's Auction Boss. That's my eBay handle. But there are a lot of viewers, a lot of lookers. So somebody's, I hope somebody pulls the trigger. And there again, this one, the cover is generally foggy. It doesn't have a big splotch, but overall, it's got a fog on it from being scrubbed with a Brillo pad or something like that. But the die-hard audiophile people are more interested in the playability, the features, than they are some of the cosmetics. Now, the cosmetic on this it's not so bad that, you know, it makes you want to retch, but you can hardly tell right here and now. But I actually put some car wax on it and polished it up as best as I could, and it made a difference. But there still is some slight fogginess to it. Now, what I find to be a little bit of a kick in the head sometimes is when you list something and you've seen that same item on the eBay that other people have sold successfully, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be able to sell mine successfully. And I've had this on last year, and I've got it on this year, and so far no takers. But it's brand new in the box, brand new, what we call old stock. I mean, it may have been made 10 years ago, but it's never been used. A shoe buffer polisher machine. So I don't know why people haven't gone after mine when they've bought some of the others. Because I've actually seen, I think, a used one sell for the asking price, the opening bid of what I need for this. So it's just a matter of you got to keep coming at bat with it sometimes. But sometimes you try the auction, and then if that doesn't work, you go with the buy it now, and you hope it just, as it lingers out there in the buy it now, which is 30 days, and it automatically restarts after 30 days. Which, you know, I still don't understand why it just doesn't stop, and you have to go and click again if you want to do it, another buy it now. But no, it automatically goes 30 days. So I guess it might go indefinitely. If anybody knows, how long does a buy it now recycle? After, you know, 30 days once, 30 days twice, 30 days 3 times. Will it go forever? All right. I'll show you something that's big that's got a bid on it that's on eBay. Came from the same place that ear book came from. I have behind this door, I believe it is called a tea table. Do this once so you can get the overall. It's supposed to be mother of pearl. That's what everybody else is calling theirs, mother of pearl. It has that look when you get really close, but I don't know if it's genuine mother of pearl or just a wannabe, or that's just a general description everybody uses, whether it's, because mother of pearl, if there's a pearl and it has a mother, who is the mother? The oyster is the mother. So that's, rather than saying it's made out of oyster shells, they would say it's mother of pearl. So it's a low sitting table. There's 4 legs that pop out. So it's only going to be about 12 inches off the floor height. And I guess you throw your pillows around and you have tea. Sounds like a lot of fun, huh? So that came from the estate of, they were actually a married couple that were doctors, and they've passed away. So I imagine they were in their late 80s when they passed away. And also from that estate, I picked up this 14-inch 2-speed portable fan, Sears, which I think is also made by Vernco, but Sears put their name on it. Let's see if I can pop it out of the box, or at least partially, so you can see what we're looking at. It's got steel grates on it and steel blades on the fan blades itself. So that's probably from the mid-60s. And I ran it. That seems to be running fine. It's got a slight rumble, but it may rumble for another 10 years. I mean, it's got to be 60 years old. It is a bit dirty, but I figure I'm not cleaning it. Some people might actually, honestly, appreciate the vintage dirt on it. I'm thinking the majority of people wouldn't, but those people can clean it themselves when they get it. Because when you start cleaning something like this, you can end up with, because it's all like kind of a grimy dirt. If you don't do a really good job, you can end up with like streaks from your cleaner. And that doesn't look as attractive as just being a dirty fan. And from that same estate, we have the vintage hi-fi or stereo cabinet. And that's where that one turntable came from that I have a $99 bid on. And also the cassette deck and the CD player came from there. Now the cassette deck, I went to test it, and it turns on and the motor makes some noises. I said, let's investigate, because it's a double deck and both decks were doing the same thing. So I opened it up and I could see what supposed to pass for belts on each side. They've actually turned to the consistency of chewing gum, and so they don't operate anymore. But I did see somebody selling belts for this thing for like $14. But I put it on eBay anyway, and I do have a $29 starting bid on it. I put parts or repair. So somebody wants to take the time, and probably take an hour of the time to get the old belts out and the new belts in. The CD player worked great. I was listening to some CDs in the workshop, tested it out. These are known as stereo components, which means they are reliant on an amplifier. So when I bought this, it came with those two units, the turntable that I said I got $99 bid on, and the tuner amp. So let's go look at the tuner amp. Here's the tuner amp. It's a Technics. It's something because the CD player is a Fisher, and the cassette deck, I forget who that was. Anyway, I'm going to turn it on, but I got to be careful because I don't want to get flagged for playing somebody's music. I guess I should plug it in first. Right now I have the saw plugged in. I was doing a small project this morning. I bought this saw, this Milwaukee Sawzall. I kid you not, I'm 67, so it could have been 40 years ago I bought this thing, and it just won't quit. I mean, a lot of people are a little if-so about because they're corded units, but corded units are hard to beat a lot of times. So I got to set this camera down. Hold on. Okay.
At pedalpgh.org. That refresh you've been putting off until the right deal came along?
So I paid $100 for that cabinet with its components, and it came with two speakers. The speakers are KLH.
Off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture.
And they're working good. I needed another set of speakers. I needed an amplifier. I had an amplifier up there in the middle of the showroom, and it crapped out on me. And so I took it apart. I thought, well, maybe the fuses are blown. It wasn't the fuses. So I futzed with it for a little while, and I gave up on it. And I put it on the curb. A lot of times I put a free sign, and I put various things out there on the curb. Figured rather than have to focus on getting it up to Goodwill, and I'd rather somebody else go ahead and get it for free. So this has been working pretty good. I was working on the workbench, and this unit was sitting on that milk crate there. And I got busy, and I didn't realize that this container here got knocked over and started pouring its contents on top of here and on the floor. So I don't know if there was like maybe a quarter cup or something, you know, and probably half that went on the floor and half that went right on here, and it definitely trickled inside there. So because I wrote parts cleaner on here, I know it's some kind of paint thinner. It's not a very volatile one. It smells more like kerosene or something like that. But so I stood this up on end and blew it out, and it seems to be working, and that was days ago, and it's still working. Now it has an odd smell. What'd you expect? But I think it may have had an odd smell just from not being used for years, on top of the paint thinner getting inside. So I'm like, good Lord, please let it keep working, because I really like it and I want to keep it around so as I can test other units. I tested both my turntables with it, I tested the CD player with it, and I tested the cassette deck with it. And I have some other units waiting for their turn. All right, well, I appreciate you hanging out with me here in the Penny Pincher thrift shop. I know my most interesting videos a lot of times are the teardown videos. I think I'm doing good when any one of my videos gets at least 100 views. And that's what I like to see, at least 100 views. But that's not always what I get. But I'll take whatever I can get my fingers out of the way. So go ahead, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. This is Secondhand Dan saying bye.